Life feels more expensive than ever, and more people are living paycheck to paycheck. But at the same time, teenagers are building apps and selling them for millions. People are quitting corporate jobs to make more money creating content. Side hustles are turning into full-time incomes. You can learn almost anything for free on YouTube, start a business from your phone, and invest in the stock market with just $10. Things that used to require money, degrees, and connections are now open to everybody. So if opportunity is everywhere, why does everyone feel broke? This is Moneypedia, making money make sense. 30 years ago, life worked differently. Opportunity was limited, but security was built in. Housing in 1990 was expensive, but the median house cost about 3 times the median household income. If you had a stable job, you could actually buy one. College in 1980 cost around $3,500 per year at a public university after adjusting for inflation. You could work a summer job, maybe take out a small loan, and graduate with manageable debt or no debt at all. A bachelor's degree was expensive but achievable without destroying your financial future. Healthcare was expensive, but most companies covered it as part of the job. You showed up, you got health insurance for you and your family. Pensions existed. Companies set aside money for your retirement because keeping employees long-term was valuable. Retirement was something your employer helped you plan for, not something you figured out on your own with a 401k that might or might not be enough. One income could support a family because wages kept up with the cost of living. A factory worker, a teacher, or an office manager could afford a house, a car, and raise kids on a single salary. It was tight, but it worked. But if you were trying to start a business, you often needed tens of thousands of dollars in startup capital, a physical storefront, business licenses, suppliers, inventory, and connections in your industry. Most people didn't even try because it wasn't realistic unless you had family money or serious savings. Learning a new skill meant going to trade school, enrolling in expensive courses, or hoping your employer would train you on the job. Information was locked behind gates. You couldn't just Google how to become a plumber or how to do accounting. You had to know someone who knew someone, or you had to pay thousands of dollars for access to training. For most people, opportunity meant getting a stable job, and that job came with healthcare, retirement benefits, paid vacation, and the assumption that if you showed up and did good work, the company would take care of you. You couldn't do much. You couldn't start a business from your bedroom or invest in the stock market from your phone. Most people worked the same job for decades, but what you could do was safe. That was the deal. Limited opportunity in exchange for built-in security. Then something broke. Wages stayed relatively flat while everything else exploded. Housing now costs about 5 times the median household income. In cities like San Francisco, Seattle, and Austin, it's even worse. A median home in San Francisco costs over $1.4 million, while the median household income is around $120,000. Good luck buying one without help from family or massive debt. Even renting became unaffordable. In most major cities, you're supposed to keep rent below 30% of your income. But the average renter now spends closer to 40% or 50% of their income on rent alone. College now costs around $28,000 per year at public universities. Private universities can run $60,000 to $80,000 per year. Students graduate with an average of $30,000 to $40,000 in debt just for undergraduate degrees. If you want a graduate degree, law school, or medical school, add another $100,000 to $300,000 in loans. The total student loan debt in America is now over $1.7 trillion. Healthcare got worse. Companies cut benefits and pushed more of the cost onto workers. Deductibles went up. Co-pays went up. Coverage went down. One hospital visit can wipe out years of savings. An emergency room trip without insurance can cost around $3,000, even for something as simple as stitches. An ambulance ride? $1,500 to $3,000. And that's before they even treat you. Now look at wages. In 1980, if you were careful, minimum wage could cover the basics: rent, food, and transportation. Today, federal minimum wage is just $7.25 an hour. That's about $15,000 a year before taxes, working full-time. The average one-bedroom apartment in the US costs around $1,700 a month. That's over $20,000 a year. So on minimum wage, you can't afford rent, let alone food, transportation, or healthcare. According to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, there isn't a single state in America where a full-time minimum wage worker can afford a 2-bedroom apartment at fair market rent. The shift is this. Living paycheck to paycheck used to mean tight budgets and careful spending. You had to be smart with money, but you could survive. Now it means one emergency completely destroys you. Car breaks down and needs $1,200 in repairs? That's rent. Medical bill for $2,500? That's 3 months of groceries. Lose your job? You're behind on everything within 2 weeks because there's no cushion anymore. Stability became a luxury that only higher earners could afford. For everyone else, life became a constant tightrope walk where one slip means falling. While costs were exploding, something else was happening. The barriers came down. The internet removed gatekeepers. You don't need permission anymore. You don't need credentials or connections. You just need Wi-Fi and the willingness to figure things out. Want to learn graphic design, coding, or investing? Free tutorials and boot camps are everywhere. Information that used to cost thousands is now free. Starting a business in 1990 meant renting physical space, buying inventory, hiring employees, getting permits, and hoping people would show up to your store. Starting a business now is dramatically easier. You could set up a Shopify store for $29 per month, find suppliers on Alibaba, and ship products directly from your apartment or using fulfillment services. You don't need employees. You don't need a storefront. You don't even need to touch inventory if you sell digital products like PDFs or courses. Investing used to require calling a stockbroker, maintaining minimum account balances of $10,000 or more, and paying $50 per trade in commissions. Now, apps like Robinhood and Webull let you start investing with $10 and pay zero commission on trades. You can buy fractional shares of expensive stocks for just $10. Investing is more accessible than ever. Information used to be hoarded by professionals who charge thousands for access. Now you can learn how to invest, budgeting tips, and tax strategies just by watching a couple of videos on YouTube or by reading posts on Reddit. Money stopped being a topic only for rich old people in suits and became something everyone could talk about openly. Creators on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram make money from their viewers without needing a TV network, movie studio, or record label. Mr. Beast built a media empire bigger than most TV networks by uploading videos to YouTube. Emma Chamberlain went from making videos in her bedroom to launching a coffee company worth millions. These stories didn't exist 20 years ago. The upside became unlimited. A teenager with a camera and an idea can build an audience of millions and make more money than their parents made in their entire careers. A college dropout can start a software company from their dorm room and scale it to billions in value. People are building wealth in ways that literally didn't exist 20 years ago. But so did the competition. You're not just competing with people in your city anymore. You're competing with people everywhere who have the same access you do. Freelancers on platforms like Upwork and Fiverr now compete globally. A designer in Indonesia can charge less than a designer in New York because their cost of living is lower. Writers, developers, marketers, all working remotely for clients they've never met. And many of them are willing to work harder, cheaper, and faster because the stakes are higher for them. Here's where we are now. Both things are true at the same time. What got better? A lot, actually. Fewer people die from poverty and starvation than at any point in human history. Crime rates are lower now than they were in the 1990s. Violent crime, property crime, and murder rates are all down significantly compared to 30 years ago. More people have college degrees and access to education than ever before. Technology gives people access to tools that didn't exist a generation ago. You can build a business, learn a skill, and reach customers across the world without leaving your house. If you have hustle, creativity, and luck, you can build something from nothing. The ceiling is higher than it's ever been. But here's what got worse. The floor disappeared. One medical bill can bankrupt you. One car breakdown can put you behind on rent. One layoff can spiral into months of financial disaster because there's no safety net built into the system anymore. According to a Federal Reserve report, 40% of Americans couldn't cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing money or selling something. Companies don't take care of employees the way they used to. Job security is gone. The average person now changes jobs every 4 years, and companies no longer invest in training employees because they expect them to leave. Younger workers are told to job hop for raises because staying loyal means staying underpaid, but that also means never building stability or expertise in one place. Pensions are gone. Retirement is your problem, not theirs. Loyalty doesn't mean anything. You can work at a company for 10 years and still get laid off in a conference call. You're on your own. Healthcare is expensive and often inadequate. According to a 2019 study, 66% of personal bankruptcies in America are tied to medical issues, either from medical bills directly or from losing income while sick. The trade we made as a society is this. We swapped guaranteed stability for unlimited possibility. You can become a millionaire from your bedroom. People do it. You can also go bankrupt from getting sick. You can start a business with almost no money and scale it to millions in revenue. You can also work 3 jobs and still not afford rent. The upside is higher than it's ever been, but the downside is harsher than it's been in generations. And most people are just trying not to fall through the cracks while everything around them gets more expensive and more competitive. The system rewards risk-taking and punishes stability. If you play it safe, you fall behind. If you take risks, you might win big or lose everything. There's no middle ground anymore. And that's why everyone feels broke, even though opportunity is everywhere. Because opportunity without stability just creates more ways to fail. Opportunity didn't disappear, it multiplied. But stability became optional. And that's the part that feels broken. The same system that lets you start a business from your phone can also wipe you out with one emergency. The same changes that opened global markets also made housing, healthcare, and education unaffordable for most people. The same technology that gave you access to opportunity also flooded the market with competition from people willing to work for less. You're not imagining it. Both things are true at the same time. We're better off in some measurable ways. Crime is down, poverty is down, education levels are up, access to information is unprecedented. People are building careers that didn't exist 20 years ago. But we're also worse off in ways that matter every single day. Costs have outpaced wages significantly. Security disappeared from jobs. One mistake can ruin you financially in ways it couldn't before. The safety net is gone. The system traded security for possibility, and most people, if you ask them honestly, would rather have the security back. They'd rather have a stable job with a pension than the opportunity to start a business that might fail. They'd rather have affordable healthcare than access to investing apps. They'd rather have a world where working hard guarantees stability than a world where working hard gives you a chance to maybe get ahead. Nobody is going to build financial security for you anymore. You have to do it yourself. Get my free guide at goodsweethomes.com/toolkit for the complete system to build wealth when stability is gone. And here's what makes it worse. Even if you navigate all of this successfully, even if you keep your job, save money, and do everything right, there's still another problem waiting at the end. The retirement system is broken. People who worked for decades and saved diligently are finding out they still can't afford to stop working. Go and watch this video next to find out why you can't afford to retire, even when you do everything right. This is Moneypedia, making money make sense.